Varun. All the best.
All the best, guys.
All the best, guys.
Thank you.
In these tough times of the COVID-19 pandemic, people are forced to change their businesses or start new businesses due to the lack of luster in their old and set business platforms. During these times, more than 60% of the entrepreneurs have started their own businesses in the fashion industry, which encompasses many different, smaller, and more niche industries. It has been an ideal platform for the success of various billionaires. Good evening. I welcome you to yet another session of Junoon JM. We have a spectacular panel of speakers for today. JML gave our speakers the best years of their lives, and we are sure that they are super excited and pumped to be back and talk to the students of the school. We are certain that all of you want to have a glimpse into how they run their businesses and the kind of friendship they share. So Team Junoon presents to you a short video giving you a peek at all the efforts put in by them to make their brand successful, and of course, the relationship the three young ladies share. Requesting the audience to keep their mics and camera off.
Hi, I'm Mahika and I'm the owner of Flurry by Mahika.
Hi, I'm Ashika and I'm the owner of ShopCeleste.in.
Hi, I'm Nitika and I'm the owner of shopamara.co.
I think 9 years. That's how long we've been best friends for.
Yeah, I think since like 4th standard in school.
Yeah.
And the best thing about having your best friends in the same field is that you can share and you can relate to each other about, all that goes behind a small business.
Yeah.
And like we send each other like stuff we find on Pinterest, like you can make something like this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So obviously lockdown was there, and another reason for me to start my business was to support the local tailors.
Okay, for me, I started it in the second quarantine that we had this year, and I saw both of my best friends running their business, and I found it really exciting. And I was also bored, so I started it.
Yeah, and it was almost the same for me. It was just like boredom, and online college wasn't like, there wasn't much to do, and yeah, quarantine. Honestly, like look, a lot of people started like small businesses this year on Instagram. Like half of the people we know have started. So I mean, I think that's how we were inspired. And also like knowing that I've inspired other people is like really overwhelming, because you don't like you feel like you're not doing something that big, but actually you are.
Yeah, for me, I started when I was bored at home during quarantine, and I love when I get like really nice reviews. That makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like, okay, what I'm doing, okay, people are liking it.
For me, obviously there was lockdown, so I was also bored. And another reason was to support the local tailors since I have a clothing brand. And inspiring others when I see my mom's friends and they tell me, oh, I follow you on Instagram and I really love what you do. It makes me so happy because I'm reaching out to that generation as well.
Yeah.
So I started my business in lockdown, which meant online college. So it was just easier. But other than that, I attend college in the morning. I allocate some time for my assignments or extra work, and then it's all about time management that you have to do. So there's some time around 2 to 3 hours for my business when I have to run to my tailor or take orders and get fabric. I pick my fabrics from local fabric stores around. One of the examples is Saroj Fabrics in Khal. So I try my best to stick to trends and then add my own style to it and how I would like to wear that outfit. And also I choose I'll decide designs after picking fabric. So I'll see, oh, in this fabric, this particular design would look really pretty, and that's how it basically works.
My aunt gifted me this necklace I'm wearing right now. It has my name on it, and so I thought of the idea of making something like that for my customers. So the most personal item on my page is the name necklace, where I shaped their name in bio. So I think that people would really enjoy that. I use Instagram Reels, and I feel like that reaches a lot of people, so it can get new people to know about my business.
Because if you're wearing a plain outfit, any piece of jewelry enhances your outfit, gives you more confidence. Honestly, if you ask any girl, hoops just give them a lot of confidence. So yeah. Anyone with a business knows that you go through a lot of dry patches, you don't get orders for a while and you feel really demotivated. The only advice I would have is don't give up. Because there may be a time you want to stop everything, but you shouldn't. Believe in yourself and you will grow. I really love all of my products, but I have this one necklace which has a safety pin here, and I have you can customize any word with it. So I just layer that with another silver necklace, and that's my go-to for any outfit. Hi, so I have these personalized brand stickers that I got printed on my own, and I use these jute bags because they're eco-friendly, and this is the order that I'll be packing, and I just put it in. And normally I add a freebie with first time orders, and my favorite part of packaging is this cute little note I write for all of my customers.
The name of my brand is Fleury, which means flowery in French.
Amara is a Greek word which means everlasting,
And Celeste basically means heavenly.
One pro of my business is that I design my own clothes, so I don't really fall short of outfits to wear outside. And I also can experiment with whatever fabric I have and decide what I would like to wear.
If I see anything online, I can just make it for myself.
I've stopped buying jewelry because everything I see, I'm just okay, I'll just make this for myself, and I just wear my own jewelry now.
The con of my business is that fitting sometimes can go wrong for some people. It's like you're on the edge before giving the customer your product. Will they like it? Will they fit well? Am I going to have to change something? Am I going to have to make a new product altogether? So that's a little, that's the stressful part.
Having to go to the store to buy supplies almost every week or every second week.
Going to ship the parcel at the post office because the lines are really long.
One customer reached out to me and asked me to customize a wedding dress for her. she had to attend someone's wedding, and she gave me the entire responsibility of that product. So I had to decide fabric, and she just gave me the theme that was, pink, baby pink, and she went to Manipur for the wedding right now, and she sent me pictures. It made me so happy, and she told me that the entire family loved the dress, and she also told me that she's going to let me make her wedding dress. So that made me really happy.
So just last week I made an order for 6 rainbow bracelets, and I really enjoyed making it because I knew it was something that the customer wanted for herself and her best friends. And because I have like a group of 6 best friends, it felt like I was making it for them. So I really enjoyed making that.
I had made this product for one of my friends and she's used it for a really long time, but it broke, and since then she came up to me and she said everything's like going haywire in my life since the bracelet broke and I need a new one. So honestly that was the best thing I had heard, and I really the next bracelet I made for her just made my day.
That is a wonderful video. We got to know so much about Mahika, Ishika, and Nitika, including their work ethic and also the priceless bond they share. We are really honored to have you all on board. We will now move on to the round of questions. I would request Bhumika and Hiren to now take over.
Thank you so much, Varun. And again, very good evening to the speakers. We are so glad to have you all on board with us this session. Without further ado, I'll jump right into the questions. So, what were the steps you took to start your businesses?
Okay, so to start my business, I first did a lot of research online. I also spoke to my mom because, of course, her opinion mattered to me. And I started off with buying very little bit of supplies so that I could try out the product first and see if it worked. And I practiced, and then that's when I ordered in bulk.
Okay, for me, so since I run a clothing brand, I had to also first see places where I can get good quality cloth at good prices. I had to give that to tailors to do trials of the tailors to see which one suits best and which one is giving me the best prices with the best finish. So I tried a couple, and now I've fixed around 3 tailors. So I work with 3 tailors. And I also had to find out ways to ship items that also are safe, and they reach the customers in time, and they also are budget friendly.
Well, it seems that you guys have put in a lot of hard work into this, and it's really, really commendable. Now, I would like to ask, did you all ever feel like quitting? And if so, why?
Yeah, so once I started, I really did feel like quitting because in the beginning, you don't get many orders until you build your business properly. And also working with wires is not as easy as it seems. So sometimes the ring, even if you make it for a size 5, it turns out into a size 4 because you pull the wire a little too much. So that can be very annoying, but it's a skill that you have to acquire. So I kept going and I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, almost the same applies. So basically a while ago, I had exams, so I had to take a break from my business for a while. And that break kind of stretched a little too long because after a while I got demotivated and I didn't feel like continuing it. So until I got an order, I had just stopped it for a while. And then when I got the order, it kind of reminded me of why I started in the first place.
It's actually great that you all, kept going and kept pushing and didn't give up. It really inspires us all. So the next question would be, how do you take care of your finances and running costs of your businesses?
So in the beginning, I put a bit of money that I had with me that I got for Raksha Bandhan or Diwali, I don't remember exactly, but I used that money to buy the supplies. And as the business goes on, you use the profits you make to buy more supplies. So that's how my business runs.
Thank you so much for giving us an insight into how you manage your costs. And as you know, time management, it plays a very vital role in running businesses and also in our day-to-day lives. So would you like to share any tips on how to manage time?
The best thing you can do is make a schedule, decide what you're doing in the day and keep some time for your business aside. I usually like do this in the night when I have time to myself. I'm like, I just put on like some show or a movie and I make an order. So honestly, it doesn't take that much time. You just need a little bit of discipline.
Yeah, totally agree. Just to add a little, so I allot very specific hours to my business because I mean, this is not the only thing I do. There are a lot of other things. I mean, all of us who run businesses have a lot of other things we do. So there are only specific hours that you allot. And obviously, on some days for me, when I'm sourcing clothes, I have to spend extra time behind my business. Another thing that to prevent I mean to save time, you can also buy your supplies in bulk, so you don't have to keep going and buying them. So you know save on that. Yeah.
It's quite commendable how you all manage your time so well, like juggling between college and your businesses. So I would like to ask you all if there are any interesting experiences you all would like to share pertaining to your businesses.
Yeah. So, and one experience that I had was that very close friend of mine, she reached out to me to make a dress for her mother's 50th birthday. And I was super excited, but the only problem was that I had a lot of orders that week and I pushed her order to a little later date. And it reached her only a day before the function, like the night before actually. And she had to wear it the next morning. So what happened is when it reached her, she told me that it didn't fit her, and it was a very panicky situation. So I mean, I was like, I got you the best tailors. I put in my best, and I don't know how it could go wrong. So it was really disappointing in the moment. And she told me that it's okay. I didn't have to bother make her a new dress. It's fine. She'll just wear something. And she was also very pissed off, but I couldn't really help it. But after an hour or so, I realized that, it is my responsibility. I had given her my word, so I have to make up for it. So we pulled off, like, obviously with the help of my tailors, we pulled off making a dress within 2 hours. And thankfully, she's in Mumbai, so it reached her the same day. And she could wear it the next day and it fit really well. So one thing that is important in a small business is that you have to gain your customers' trust. If you give someone your word, you can't just do anything and give it to them. They've given you they've given you their everything. So I realized that, I have to really make it up to her. Yeah.
Would any of you all like to add something to it?
No.
These were some really great experiences we got to hear, and we are so glad that it just kept pushing you to do better. I would like to ask if there was any financial advice you would like to give to the aspiring small business owners.
So basically the only thing that if you're like when you're starting out is don't like invest too much into like making it look very aesthetic or like spending too much on packaging, because I did that and I spent a lot of money on trying to make it look like pack it in a really fancy way, and I spent a lot of money on that, and it took me like a really long time to back up my capital after that, because so I had to change my entire packaging. I had to shift to something that was affordable for my business. So that's my advice.
Okay. So obviously what Nitika said, I completely agree. But another thing I would like to add is that you have to keep track of your payments, your expenses, where you're paying, how much you're paying. So what I do is I have an Excel sheet. So I keep track of the orders, the profits, my margins, also how much so mine, I have to pay my tailor, I have to pay for raw materials. So I keep a track of both. So it's very important to have a place where you can put it all together. Another mistake that I made is that I reinvested all my profits into my business. So what happened is that I couldn't see the money coming. So I'm obviously making profits, but I don't see the money because I'm reinvesting all of it. So there's nothing for myself. So what then I started doing is saving little by little for myself, so that I also see that I'm making money out of this as well. So it's also a motivating factor. So I think that's important. So in case you're starting, you should remember to keep something for yourself.
That's actually such great advice, and I'm sure a lot of people would try to follow it. So all businesses, of course, have their ups and downs. So have there been any mistakes that you all have made that proved to be a learning curve for you all?
Yes, I just recently had an experience which taught me a lot. So basically, I was at the post office shipping out an order when an old man approached me and he asked me if I could make a necklace for his wife because he saw that I was shipping out products. And I thought of him as kind, and I thought it was a nice gesture for him to do for his wife. So I agreed to do that. And then the same day when I was supposed to deliver the order to him, my mom asked me at the lunch table, like, what's your plan for the day? So I had told her the story about him ordering. And so I told her that I'd be going to drop it off. And my mom warned me, saying that I should not go up to his house, or like I should just give it to the watchman, or ideally I should be shipping it. But had she not told me that, I was planning to go upstairs and drop it off to his house. And just the same day when he messaged me regarding the order, he asked me to come up and that he would give me a slice of cake for his wife's birthday. And I freaked out because my mom just warned me, saying, it could be dangerous. They could feed you something that contains something. You can't trust anyone. So I landed up going, but I took a friend with me because I was really scared. And I also had a bottle of pepper spray with me. And he insisted that I go up, but I didn't agree. And I dropped off my order. Nothing bad happened, but it was a creepy experience. And so I learned that to take orders only through Instagram and to deliver them only through a courier service or post office, not personally.
Sure.
I'd like to add. Sorry.
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Also, another thing, so I had gotten an order to make this product of mine, which is the daisy ring, and I need to use a particular kind of elastic for it, and I used a different kind because I was out of the one that I was supposed to, and I was in a hurry to deliver that. So I gave the customer the order, and an hour later, she texted me saying that the ring broke, and I felt really bad because I knew I compromised on the quality of the product, and I knew I shouldn't have. So that minute I picked it up and I got the material that I needed to and made another product and sent it to her within the hour. So just don't compromise on the quality of your products because your customers are really relying on you for that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure that was a great learning experience for you guys, and I'm also sure that everyone is inspired listening to your stories. And yeah, thank you so much for sparing time for us. So now we would like to move on to the audience questions. I would request the audience members to type out the questions and send it in the chat box.
You all can send the audience questions to the host.
All right, so we have one question with us. Is there another small business owner that can serve as your inspiration apart from your friends?
Yes, I would like to answer. For me, it's a business called A Twist in the Plot. So they also work with wire jewelry, and she started long before I did, and she's only a 16-year-old. So she's my inspiration because her jewelry is really, really beautiful. And I think over the years, she's acquired like the how to make wire jewelry really well, like the skill for that.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Even yeah, I'll just add. So I know this other brand. It's called Tag the Label, and my sister introduced me to it. So it's very similar to my concept, and they're doing really well. So I think they are my inspiration.
It's the same for me, another Instagram store that I've drawn inspiration from.
it's so great to see, you're seeking inspiration from other people that are in the same line as yours. So encouraging. So another question has come in. It is, has anyone ever told you that you would never be able to make it, and how do you respond to such hate?
Personally, I was always encouraged. I myself wasn't sure if I'd be able to make it, and I wasn't sure if people would buy something from me since I don't really have a fashion background. So I was not sure myself, but I received a lot of support from friends and family. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, I agree with Mahika. I've never actually been told that. So I'm grateful for that.
That's really great to know. And whenever like hatred just comes in, you just have to ignore all the haters. We have one more question with us. Do your friends and family help you out by modeling in your products? Like, do they help?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've had
Oh.
sorry. Okay.
Go ahead.
I've had my sister and a lot of my friends. I don't need a lot of I don't need the whole person to be. So I just use I've used my mom's hand, I've used my sister's hand, I've used my friend's hands for a lot of my product photography.
Yeah. So I think Nitika has modeled once for my brand and a couple of times, and even her sister. So that way, whoever I send my products to, they help me. My dadi helps me; she models for me. So yeah.
See, at the end of the day, it's surely your close ones that, are coming to use or are coming to help you out.
Yeah.
So the world is filled with different types of people. How do you deal with difficult customers? Is another question that's coming.
For me, I try to be as cooperative as I can, but if they are asking something that's unreasonable of them, I surely call them out because at the I don't think that small businesses should be walked over. I think we do deserve a certain amount of respect.
Yeah, definitely. So, as Ashika said, there have been times when so people don't understand that small businesses, their margins also aren't so great. Okay. So, we run on very small margins, like say 20-30%, and sometimes more. So, what happens is now in this also, the customers keep asking you for discount, and that's not fair on us. I mean, it's not fair to us because we're working so much to make one product with so much love. And then when you come and ask us for a discount, it's kind of disrespecting what we do. And it's not like that we overcharge. We are charging pretty much, I mean, a very decent amount.
Yeah.
Yes, that is really unfortunate. Okay, so we have one more question. Do you guys have any long-term goals? Like, do you all want to continue this in the future?
For me, at least, because my the course I'm studying is very time consuming, I take my business like in the moment. I like to live in the present. I haven't really thought of a long-term goal. I just do it because I enjoy it. So I haven't really thought of it in a long-term perspective.
Same goes for me. I started off as a hobby and I really don't know if I have long-term plans for it.
Yeah, I'm just going to take it as it comes. I'm not sure either.
See, that's to be decided in the future. I'm sure you will find your way. So, how do you get out of a slump if you're experiencing one?
For me, if I ever feel like I'm bored of what I'm doing, I try to go on Pinterest and look at like different kinds of jewelry. And when I spot something I like, I immediately want to make it for myself. So then once I start making it again, then I get into the groove.
So there are a lot of times when I don't get orders. Like there's a span when you just don't have orders, and it's very disheartening. But then I focus on creating more than actually selling. So as you create, you do get orders. So that's how it works for me.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of the round of audience questions. Thank you so much. I would now hand it over to Shagun.
Thank you, Hiren. To add some fun and thrill to this event, we have organized a contest regarding fashion, for which images were submitted prior to the meeting. Participants were supposed to either wear a black or white full or half sleeve t shirt. The contest consisted of 2 rounds. The first round, participants were required to put together a formal outfit. The requirements were one t shirt, one accessory, and compulsory. Round 2, the participants were asked to style a party wear outfit using the requirements with one accessory included. After careful consideration, the speakers have finally selected the winner of the products made by our speakers today. The winner of this contest is Kiara Mehta. Congratulations! You have earned yourself an unreleased bag from Fleury by Mahika's new collection, a necklace of your choice from Shop Amara, and any 2 rings from Shop Celeste. The runner-up is Yamini Masand. Congratulations! You win a Pinterest-inspired handmade trinket dish from Shop Celeste and a necklace of your choice from Shop Amara. Could we have a virtual round of applause? This is the end of the contest. A great thank you to the guests for being the judges, the audience who was patient, and the participants who competed. Our 3 speakers today showed us how enterprising one can become with their free time and how an entrepreneur lies within each one of us. This truly inspires us to be productive and hardworking. Do follow their pages on social media, which will be put in the chat box. I want to thank the president of Gujarat Research Society, our respected principal, Mrs. Damayanti Bhattacharya, our vice principal, Mrs. Geeta Sanan, the school management, teachers, and the audience for being a part of the session today. We would also like to extend our gratitude towards Ms. Shilpa Gandhi, ISC head, and Ms. Abir Premji, head of mass media team, for their effective guidance and efforts. We also thank all our listeners for taking out their valuable time. The second season of Junoon JML promises to showcase many more intriguing topics of discussion and inspiring speakers. Do check us out on YouTube and Instagram. We have great surprises in store for you. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so
for
much.
having us.
Thank you so much for your valuable time, and I hope you'll enjoy this session. Thank you everyone for joining in as well.
Thank you.